They called me a parasite, after everything I'd done for them, after every bill I paid, every meal I cooked, every late-night emergency I handled. My own family called me a parasite. I still remember that morning like it's branded into my soul. The sun had barely risen over our quiet suburban neighborhood in Portland. My son Ryan and his wife Jessica were sitting at the kitchen table, whispering about finances again. I'd just come down to make coffee when Jessica said it, her voice cutting through the air like a blade. "We can't keep paying for her. She doesn't even bring in money. She's just a parasite." For a moment, I thought I'd misheard her, but then Ryan didn't say a word. He just sat there, silent. My own son, the same boy I raised after his father died, the same boy I worked double shifts for as a nurse for 38 years so he could go to college, so he could have this very house, that, and now I was her, a parasite. Like I hadn't paid for the roof over our heads, or the car Jessica drove, or the down payment that kept them from drowning in rent. I didn't cry, not right away. I just stood there, holding my mug so tight I thought it might shatter. Then I smiled, nodded, and quietly said, "Don't worry, honey, I won't be a burden much longer." Jessica just smirked, and Ryan looked away. That was the moment something inside me cracked, not from pain, but from clarity. You see, I'd always believed that love meant sacrifice, that when you give your children everything, they'll give you respect in return. But that day, I realized love without boundaries turns into debt, and debt gives people power over you. So I made myself a promise right then and there, one that would change everything. I promised I'd make them see who really built this family. Not with yelling, not with tears, but with quiet, deliberate revenge. For the next few days, I acted normal. I cooked dinner, smiled through their passive-aggressive remarks, and listened as Jessica bragged about her new business venture, a home decor company that I'd actually funded. Every time she handed out credit to herself, I just nodded, because I had a plan. They thought I was old, harmless, and dependent. What they didn't know was that every transaction I'd ever made, every bill I'd ever covered, was carefully documented. 38 years as a nurse had taught me one thing: always keep records. So I pulled out my old file box from the closet, bank statements, mortgage transfers, even the deed that still had my name on it, because guess who never filed the final ownership paperwork correctly? It was me. And that house, legally, it was still mine. I didn't plan to throw them out right away. No, that would have been too easy. I wanted them to feel what I'd felt: the humiliation of being taken for granted. The slow realization that the person you underestimated was the one holding all the cards. Over the next few weeks, I started to withdraw, not emotionally, but financially. The grocery bills stopped being handled. The utilities went unpaid. Jessica started to panic first. Ryan followed soon after. "Mom, did you forget to transfer money for the power bill?" "Oh, sorry, honey," I'd say sweetly. "I figured you two could handle it now. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a parasite, right?" Their faces turned white. It was beautiful. The silence at dinner grew louder every night. Jessica stopped meeting my eyes. Ryan looked tired. The same house they once ruled now felt smaller. Like my presence reminded them of the truth they'd tried to bury. And I wasn't done yet, because this wasn't just about bills or money. This was about dignity. So, I decided to take it one step further, step they'd never see coming. People think revenge has to be loud, screaming, slamming doors, maybe throwing a few plates. But no, real revenge. It's quiet, it's smart, it's patient. I didn't raise my voice, I raised my strategy. After that morning, I started pretending to forget things, little things at first. Grocery receipts, passwords, insurance details. Jessica thought I was getting old. Let her. She didn't realize every forgotten document had already been moved to a safe deposit box under my name only. All my financial records, the house deed, the account transfers, all safely tucked away. Because if there's one thing life teaches you, it's that people stop paying attention when they think they've already won. One afternoon, I called my lawyer, Mr. Graham, a sharp old friend from my hospital days. We'd helped each other through thick and thin. I told him everything. The house, the payments, the insult. He didn't laugh. He didn't pity me. He just said, "Let's give them a taste of consequences." We went through every record. Turns out, when I helped Ryan and Jessica buy the house, the title never fully transferred. It was still legally mine, and since I paid most of the mortgage, I could revoke their right to live there, or, better yet, sell the house altogether. But I wasn't ready for that. Not yet. I wanted to watch the arrogance fall from their faces, piece by piece. So, I started shifting money. slowly. The family account Jessica used for her business was under my social security. I closed it quietly. Within a week, her company funds froze. She thought it was a bank error. She spent hours on hold. I made tea and smiled. The next day, Ryan came home early, looking anxious. Mom, did you move the money from the account? Which account, sweetheart? I asked, stirring my tea. The one we use for bills. It's all locked. Oh, I said softly. I figured parasites don't handle finances. Didn't want to overstep. He didn't know what to say. The same man who sat silent when his wife insulted me now couldn't even meet my eyes. The power dynamic had shifted, and they could feel it. Jessica started acting polite again. Too polite. Do you want me to make you breakfast, Helen? I wanted to laugh. A month ago, she wouldn't even hand me the remote. But I wasn't cruel. I just let her kindness bounce off me like water on glass, because I knew it wasn't real remorse, it was fear. A week later, the bills piled up. Mortgage, car loan, phone, all under my name. And since I'd cut off the autopay, every collector called me. That's when I made my move. I told Mr. Graham to draft a simple notice, effective immediately. The property at 1045 Willow Creek Lane will be sold by the primary owner, Helen Moore. He raised an eyebrow. You're really going through with this? Absolutely, I said. They need to learn that generosity has limits. We filed the paperwork. Legally, I didn't even have to notify them, but I did, because I wanted them to hear it from me. That evening, I waited at the dinner table. They walked in, exhausted, still arguing about money. I smiled and handed them the letter. Jessica read it first, her face drained of color. You're selling the house, our house. Oh no, dear, I said calmly. My house, you just lived in it. Ryan's hands trembled. Mom, where are we supposed to go? You'll figure it out, I said softly. You're young, ambitious. Remember, I'm just a parasite. Jessica slammed the table and stormed off. Ryan stayed seated, staring at the letter like it was a death sentence. For once, I didn't feel guilty, because guilt belongs to those who did wrong, not those who survived it. A month later, the sale was finalized. The house went fast. Great neighborhood, good market. I moved into a lovely senior condo near downtown, clean, quiet, filled with women who'd lived enough life to understand my smile. Ryan and Jessica moved into a tiny rental. No more luxury cars, no more designer brunches. Jessica's business folded in weeks. She tried calling me, texting, even crying. I never blocked her. I just didn't reply, because sometimes, silence is the loudest revenge of all. But this story doesn't end with money or power. No, the real ending came later, when they finally came to my door again. It had been 6 months since I sold the house. 6 months of peace. 6 months of coffee on my balcony. Quiet mornings, no shouting, no judgment, just the sound of birds and my own heartbeat finally matching the rhythm of freedom. I didn't check on them, didn't ask where they were living, didn't stalk their Facebook. The truth is, I didn't have to. I already knew life would take care of the rest. See, when people live off your kindness, they never build their own foundation. And when that kindness disappears, they collapse, just like my son and his wife did. Then, one rainy evening in November, I heard a knock on my condo door. A slow, hesitant knock. When I opened it, Ryan stood there, soaked, tired, eyes red. Behind him, Jessica, no makeup, no designer coat, just a worn hoodie, and a look that finally resembled humility. Mom, Ryan whispered, can we come in? For a moment, I almost shut the door. Not out of hate, out of fear that if I let them back in, I'd fall into the same trap of forgiveness without change. But then I took a breath. Come in, I said. They sat on my couch, dripping water on the rug. I handed them towels. Old habits die hard. For a while, no one spoke. Just the ticking of my clock filled the silence. Then Ryan said quietly, you were right. About everything. Jessica started to cry. Not those fake guilt-driven tears, real ones. She looked at me and said, I was awful to you. I said things I can't take back. We lost the apartment last month. We're staying with friends. I'm sorry. Her voice cracked on that last word. Sorry. Funny thing about that word, when you hear it from someone who truly means it, it doesn't heal the wound, but it stops the bleeding. I didn't gloat. I didn't throw her words back in her face, though Lord knows I wanted to. I just looked at them both and said, do you know why it hurt so much when you called me that name? Ryan shook his head slowly. Because I paid for your future with my past. Every dollar I earned was a day off my life. Every bill I covered was a breath I worked for. And when you called me a parasite, you turned all that love into debt. Jessica was shaking now, tears streaming down her face. Ryan held her hand, his own eyes wet. Mom, I don't deserve your forgiveness, he said softly. You're right, I replied. You don't, but I'll give it anyway. Not for you, but for me, because I won't let anger live rent-free in my heart. They both broke down then, silent sobs that echoed in the small room. For a long time, I just watched them, the same way you watch a storm finally pass. When they left that night, I didn't promise them anything. I didn't offer them money or a place to stay. I just said, you know where to find me when you're ready to start over, the right way. A week later, I got a call from Ryan. He'd picked up a new job, construction work, long hours, but honest pay. Jessica had started volunteering at a local shelter. No more shortcuts. No more pretending. And for the first time in years, when he said, I love you, Mom, I believed him. People online love to romanticize revenge. They think it's about payback, the thrill of watching someone suffer. But real revenge, it's when you rebuild your peace in front of those who tried to destroy it. I didn't ruin their lives. Life did that on its own. All I did was stop saving them from the consequences. Now, every Sunday, Ryan comes by with groceries. Not expensive ones, just enough. Jessica helps me with the garden. Sometimes, when she thinks I'm not looking, she tears up a little. Maybe out of guilt. Maybe out of gratitude. I never bring up the word parasite. I don't have to. The silence says it all. If you ask me, revenge isn't about getting even. It's about getting free. And the day I sold that house, the day I stopped letting them feed off my love and call it charity, was the day I finally started living again. They called me a parasite, but in the end, I was the one who kept them alive.